What is peculiar about military court jurisdiction? Imagine a court that can try someone no matter where they are in the world, as long as they are connected to the military. That's what makes military court jurisdiction stand out. Unlike civilian courts, which usually only have authority within specific geographic areas, military courts have a much broader reach. They are governed by the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is a set of rules created by Congress to oversee the conduct of military personnel. One of the key things that makes military jurisdiction different is who can be tried. It mainly applies to active duty members of the armed forces, reservists on duty, retired military members, and some others linked to military service. Civilians are generally outside this jurisdiction unless they are with the military during specific operations, like deployments or war zones. This focus on military status rather than location is a big difference from civilian courts. Military courts can also try offenses that break civilian laws, like theft or assault, but they can also handle violations of military-specific rules that keep the armed forces disciplined. This dual authority means military courts have a wider scope than civilian courts, which only deal with civilian laws. Another peculiarity is the geographical scope. Military jurisdiction is not limited by borders or where the crime took place. It applies worldwide. If a service member commits a crime on an overseas base or in a combat zone, the military court can still try them. This global reach is rooted in the fact that the person was subject to military law at the time of the offense. The Constitution gives Congress the power to regulate the armed forces, which forms the legal basis for this jurisdiction. In rare cases, civilians who are with the military during a declared war or specific operations might also fall under military jurisdiction. But this is very limited and carefully defined, reflecting the special authority the military has over non-military persons only in specific situations. Military courts operate differently from civilian courts in procedures too. They often have smaller juries, called panels, and do not always requiring unanimous verdicts. They also do not have mistrials, and their rules focus on maintaining discipline and order within the military. Sometimes, both military and civilian courts can have authority over the same person or incident. For example, if a service member commits a crime off base, both courts might try the case. The Constitution's Supremacy Clause helps resolve these overlaps, but it can still get complicated. So, what makes military court jurisdiction peculiar? It's mainly because it is based on the person's military status, applies worldwide, covers both civilian and military offenses, and follows a unique set of rules designed to keep the armed forces disciplined. This makes it quite different from civilian courts and highlights its special role within the legal system.